Oh, the short answer is no. Look, before I go on, I'm no specialist in constitutional law. I specialise in traffic, specifically saving licences, and obviously getting a toll doesn't affect the holding of one's licence. But look, there's a few issues here, though. Firstly, the Constitution, that binds the federal government. It has no direct bearing on the state governments. And in any event, Queensland Motorways isn't the state government, it's a company. So whilst there might be some ability to read into the Constitution, as discussed earlier, there's two issues. So effectively, the Gateway Motorway is a private road, and this business of entering into contracts by proceeding on, I mean, the motorways are well signed. Everyone knows that there's tolls, and by proceeding past that point, you're effectively agreeing through your behaviour to any contract. Not that that's really of any bearing, but in response to that argument. And
the toll operator is Queensland Motorways Limited, though. I mean, that's who you have to set up the account with if you want to have a toll token or pay your account.
Yeah, so I'm just addressing the issue with the Constitution.
Yeah, sure.
Section 115 is referred to, and that's, as I said, I'm saying that it hasn't. The Constitution is all about controlling the federal government, and whilst there is some provisions in regard to the state, it's not really the state that's involved here. It's effectively a private company allowing you access onto their land, and by proceeding through the toll point, you're acquiescing to their demand that you pay a fee. And in any event, 115, if you have a good look at it, that's basically saying that it's the federal government's job to coin money, not the states. And if you proceed up one section of 114, again, that says that the states can't start their own armies and navies. So that's the vein of the relevant sections of the Constitution. And the long and short of it is, if you decide to go through these tolls, you do have to pay for it. Like any sort of, it's like you can't go to McDonald's, help yourself to a McNugget, and then claim that there was no contract to purchase.
So that aside, why do you think then that the charges against Mr Jarvis were dropped by Transport and Main Roads?
I suspect it's a case of goodwill. They've probably looked at the footage, taken his argument on board, mainly with regard to the hardship aspects, I suppose. They've probably made a judgment call, and they may have thought that maybe the journey, because from what I understand, he's made a big deal about the fact that he didn't agree to pay any toll, so they've probably read that as, well, maybe this guy legitimately didn't intend to pass through the toll point, and they probably weighed that as a matter of good faith. But as he correctly points out, they're quite specific in saying that our decision to do this has no bearing or no relationship with your argument in relation to the Constitution.
All right, so your advice to anyone listening now who's thinking of following in Bob Jarvis's footsteps and not paying an e-toll is what?
Pay it or take the long way.